circumstances of her assassination in Istanbul. Kell had changed the subject. Rachel's memory was his alone to curate. He wanted no part in others' recollections of the woman to whom he had lost his heart. Perhaps he had been naive to fall so quickly for a woman he had barely known, yet he guarded the memory of his love as jealously as a starving animal with a scrap of food. Every morning, for months, Kell had thought of Rachel at the moment of waking, then steadily throughout the day, a debilitating punctuation to his solitary, unchanging existence. He had raged at her, he had talked with her, he had drenched himself in memories of the short period in which they had been involved with one another. The loss of the potential that Rachel had possessed to knit together the broken strands of Kell's life constituted the most acute suffering he had ever known. Yet he had survived it. "You must be having a midlife crisis," his ex-wife Claire had told him at one of their occasional reunion lunches, commenting on the fact that Kell had given up alcohol, was taking himself off to the gym 3 times a week, and had broken a 20-year, 20-a-day smoking habit. No alcohol, no fags, no spying. Next thing you'll be buying an open-top Porsche and taking 22-year-olds to the polo at Windsor Great Park. Kell had laughed at the joke, even as he inwardly acknowledged how little Claire understood him. She knew nothing, of course, about his relationship with Rachel, nothing about the operation that had led to her death. This was just the latest in a lifetime of secrets between them. As far as Claire was concerned, Kell would always be the same man. An intelligence officer through and through, a spy who had spent more than 2 decades in thrall to the luster and intrigue of the secret world. She believed that their marriage had failed because he had loved the game more than he had loved her. "You're wedded to your agents, Tom," Claire had said during one of many similarly unequivocal conversations that had heralded the end of the marriage. "Amelia Levine is your family. Not me. If you had to choose between us, I have no doubt that you would pick MI6. Amelia. The woman whose career Kell had saved and whose reputation he had salvaged. The chief of the Secret Intelligence Service, appointed 3 years earlier, now approaching the end of her tenure, with the Middle East on fire, Russia in political and economic turmoil, and Africa ravaged by Islamist terror. Kell had neither seen nor heard from her since the afternoon of Rachel's funeral, an occasion at which they had deliberately ignored one another. By recruiting Rachel to work for SIS behind his back, Amelia had effectively signed her death warrant. Earl's Court. Kell stepped off the train and registered the familiar acid taste of his implacable resentment. It was the one thing he had been unable to control. He had come to terms with the end of his marriage. He had mastered his grief, reasoned that his professional future lay beyond the walls of Vauxhall Cross. Yet he could not still a yearning for vengeance. Kell wanted to seek out those in Moscow who had given the order for Rachel's assassination. He wanted justice. The Richmond service was due in a few minutes. A pigeon swooped in low from the Warwick Road, flapped towards the opposite platform, and settled beside a bench. There was a District Line train standing empty behind it. The pigeon hopped on board. As if on cue, the doors slid shut and the train moved out of the station. Kell turned and joined the huddle of passengers on platform 4, heads ducked down in text messages, Twitter feeds, games of Angry Birds. A huge bearded man with a baby on board badge attached to the lapel of his jacket stood beside him. Kell half expected to spot his old friend from Bayswater, faded denim jeans and a brown tweed jacket. A woman behind him was talking in Polish on a mobile phone. Another, shrouded in a black niqab, was scolding a small child in Arabic. These were the citizens of the new London, the international masses whom Amelia Levine was charged to protect.